show. Janet Kay with Silly Games, and now I'm delighted to welcome to the show Dennis Bovell. How's it going, Dennis?
Good evening. Very well, thank you.
So I think we should start there with Janet Kay's Silly Games. You were, forgive the pun, you were instrumental in that song, wasn't you?
Very. In fact, when I'd written it, and I was looking for a singer to sing it, I needed someone to go, and, sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm all right, don't worry.
And when I demonstrated that to her, she was like, what? You can sing that note? I must be able to do it. And I thought, that's the spirit. Go for it. And I'd spent about 3 or 4 weeks putting the track together because the drum pattern was an invention of mine. And then I looked for a drummer who could play it and keep it steady for 3 minutes. And then we decided that Drummy Zeb from Aswad was our man. And I taught him the pattern and then said, right, this is what I want you to do. And off he went. And whilst I was playing the bass, he was doing the drums. He didn't actually know the song because I couldn't sing down the talkback mic because I was in the control room being the sound engineer, right? And he was in the drum booth, and our only, mode of contact was to speak through the talkback mic. And when it came to play your silly games, he suddenly made this huge roll there. And I thought, what's he doing? I wanted him to keep it straight there. But on the second playback, I thought, you know what? That's
it makes
really,
sense,
really
yeah.
cool. It made sense to do that. It set the partition between the choruses and the second verse.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song, isn't it? I mean, still today it sounds great.
So. I know, it stood the test of time. In fact, it propelled Janet into the Guinness Book of Records to be the first British-born reggae singer to make it to the top of the charts.
Fantastic. And yeah, it's a very unique song, as you sung at the beginning. I mean, just that bit of the song is so very unique, isn't it?
Well, the thing was, I'd been watching the adverts on telly, and Minnie Riperton... No, is it not Minnie Riperton?
Loving You? Is that the song you're thinking of? Yeah.
Right, yes. And also, there was an advert for cassette tape, Memorex. And Ella Fitzgerald was singing a note that broke a glass. And I thought, would it be good to have such a daring note in a song?
Yeah, it's one that people don't usually try, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, when she does that live, the whole audience kind of waits for that moment and screams the high note.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And she says to me, "Oh, Dennis, I wish I hadn't have met you because I've got to sing that bloody song every night. You know what strain it is on the throat." She goes, "Only now I let the audience sing it sometimes."
Well, that's great, isn't it? When you have a hit, you can let the audience do that. Nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you're going to be performing at the Ska Fest in Maidstone at the end of this month, 30th of April. How much are you looking forward to it?
Listen, Maidstone is a place that, since the early days when I toured with Ian Drury and the Blockheads, I can't forget the name of the venue that we played there once. And, it's the place, I think, that people kind of get down and boogie.
That's what you want, isn't it, for a festival?
Yeah,
I mean, perfect.
Absolutely. So it's the perfect settings. And I'm coming to mash it up, as it were.
Brilliant. So you're going to be there with Mr. Fix-It, Winston Francis?
Yes.
Carl St. Clair, original Desmond Decker Aces.
Absolutely. Both
lots
friends
of other
of mine.
great acts.
Yes. I mean, I think it's a great collection of artists reading the who's who and what's on where. And it's a pleasure to be, taking part of such a festival.
Oh yeah, festivals are great, aren't they? I mean, especially to do with ska or reggae music. I mean, people just have such a good time, don't they?
Yeah, people have a good dance, a good jump, and go, oi, oi, oi.
And a good drink, of course.
Oh, mate. I think that's on the
Goes
card.
without saying, yeah.
Yes.
So you've also worked with Linton Johnson. What was it like working with Linton?
I mean, he was the first man that didn't attempt to sing, and he made it known that he wasn't a singer but a poet, just with some music going on, you know. And I thought, I'll give that a try. And it was about the same time, really, that I was working with Janet, and I was working also with a group called The Slits, doing an album, their first album called Cut. And Linton, he just, you know, amazed me with his use of words and you know, things that he, you know, kind of thought that, listen, this is what, you know, Britain is like. This is what he saw himself, and I saw him as like a newspaper, you know, social comment, which I thought was very lacking in, you know, the kind of reggae world, coming from British reggae artists, and he bridged the gap admirably.
Yeah, I mean,
in fact, I'm working with him right now.
Oh, really? Are you? What are you working on then?
Well, he's doing some new material.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, it's been a while, so we'll look forward to hearing that. It'd be great.
Yeah, he hasn't made a record for 15 years, but he always says, I can't contrive things. Something's got to happen before I write about it.
Well, that's fair enough, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not Baby I Love You, is it?
No. You first met him, when you first worked with him, I mean, it was obviously very unique, wasn't it? Because as you say, he's a poet. He's not necessarily what you'd call a singer. He's a urban poet. So that was very different at the time, wasn't it?
He invented that style. I mean, he was, you know, on his, I mean, apart from the people in America, the last poets, and people like that were doing it, you know, to R&B. He was positively the first doing that kind of style, you know, a monotone chant with reggae.
Yeah, but we're glad that he did that because, you know,
me too.
His songs, I mean, they're just fantastic. We get requests for them quite a lot, actually, on the show.
Well, actually, just recently I've been working with Joss Stone, and she said to me, you know what? Do you think we could get Linton involved in this? And she was doing a song that she called Harry's Symphony. And I said, you know what? There is a piece of Linton that could fit admirably in this song, and it's called Reggae Sounds. And then I dug it out, because I've got lots of a cappella of Linton. I dug it out, and sure enough, it was the right tempo, the right everything. And then I just edited it and threw it in. Then I called Linton and said, you'll never guess what I've just done. I've edited your voice into Joss Stone, because you better let me hear that. And then when he heard it, he went, it works, it sounds as though I was there. And I said, I know.
That's brilliant, isn't it? The wonders of technology.
Yeah. And then I did the same thing with Linton with Arcade Fire. Arcade Fire got me to do a remix of some of their tunes, and one of the tunes was called Flashbulb Eyes. And I noticed that it was the same tempo, and Arcade Fire are fans of Linton. So when I suggested getting Linton on there to do one of his poems called Reality Poem, where he goes, this is the age of reality. This is the age of science and technology. I mean, he wrote that in 1973.
Great.
And he was so right. And I threw it in there, and they were like, yes! And then, at the moment, I'm working with Boy George. So I just edited another thing of Linton's called It Not Funny into a piece with Boy George. So Linton's getting about...
They're all getting a bit of Linton then.
Yeah, I think they all should.
Yeah. So with Joss Stone, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Like, because she's really moved into the reggae genre quite a bit.
Big time.
Because, you know, obviously she's originally a soul singer. She's really into that. And
she's a singer. She can sing anything.
Oh, yeah.
She's got a great voice.
Amazing voice.
What a great British talent.
We're happy she's doing reggae. Yeah, we're happy with this show.
Yeah, she said to me, she said, you know what, the first reggae tune I ever heard was Linton Johnson's Sonny's Letter. And I was like, what? That's a bit hardcore for a young girl. And then she said, no, my dad played it to me. And then she's been a Linton fan ever since. In fact, we've just arranged for Linton and myself to join her on the 15th of May at the Roundhouse for the concert for Bernardo's homeless children.
Oh, fantastic, for a great cause as well. And as you were mentioning, Joss's father, I mean, I think with reggae music, it does get passed down, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Through the generations. That's one of the great things about it, yeah.
That is the great thing about it.
So who are some of your favourite artists then? Because you're a big reggae fan yourself.
Yeah, but I like the Beatles.
That's fair enough, yeah, nothing wrong with the Beatles.
Yeah, you know, I like some of the Who. But in the reggae world, I think people like Ken Booth and Johnny Clark, Pat Kelly, my favourite. Aswad, you know.
There's so many to mention, though, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean...
Have this conversation with people, and the list, it just goes on and on. It's
absolutely. Or I should just say, them all.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us on the show, Dennis, and we're all looking forward to seeing you in Maidstone on the 30th of April at the end of the month for the Ska Festival. Looking forward to it.
I'm going to be there rocking away.
Brilliant. All right, then. Cheers.
Okay, I'll see you then.